Okay. What a wonderful day. From start to finish, it was a little chill this morning. Warmed up to the point where I was hot. Actually, as I approached Walmart, I spotted my preferred Amigo powered chair, etc. Got off a couple of good videos at Walmart. I grabbed some of my white pollock imitation crab. Damn near kosher, but came back, had like my fourth or fifth cup of coffee for the day. It was just calming down. I just finished it. And it was a little after 4:30, something like that. And a lovely young black lady came out of Tizona. When I say the name Sharon in the title, because this is for Sharon at the laboratory. You have no idea how, because I haven't really been around the academic world much, and right here nearby, I'll get to the point. It's maybe she's heard something, but started chatting. She was fascinated. She was absolutely enthralled, raptured, and she was like remembering every word that I said because she actually works in a laboratory where they search for neoplastic DNA. There's an exception to that, like prostate cancer almost never is a genetic basis for what is neoplasia cancer. Neoplasia means new shape, and prostate cancer in men is usually just a hormonal and androgen imbalance situation, and not enough apoptosis. That's pre-programmed cell death. But I just started giving her some of my basic warnings and stuff like that, and she just let me keep going, and she was enraptured. At the appropriate time, she was actually, I asked her if she wanted me to spell arachidonyl ethanolamide. She goes, no, she could remember it. She does have that memory. Then I just gave her, to be sure, the generic term, anandamide, and so on. And just, like about 100 minutes passed with just complete ease and joy. What was it, the day before that was the beautiful little Chinese girl that just filled me with joy. And this filled me with joy because I was doing something I love after learning from so many people. I like to turn around and teach people, and she works in a lab that's not very far away. Let's not forget, in those videos I was trying to point out, there's a gigantic Samsung plant over there, probably maybe one of the biggest in North America. There's the Hutto. One of those water towers was feeding the Hutto area of Hutto, and the Hutto Megas building site that's, I don't know how many, between Hutto and Taylor and stuff. I don't have no idea how many big major corporations are all. Here's this one lady who comes over and offers me some hot chai from Starbucks. Starbucks may have told her he won't drink our coffee, but I won't drink chai either because, as I explained to her, almost all spices are toxic. That was really kind of my first statement, was somewhere in that range. And usually the way Starbucks makes it, by the time it gets to me outdoors, even on a warm evening, that did it again. I'm going to have to really try to do it this way. And still, by the time it gets to me, they tend to serve it tepid so that they don't get sued by somebody. By the time it makes it out the door and into your car or over to me, that stuff just is not, that's what I told her, it's not hot enough to help clear my sinuses. It was kind of give a brief, they have touched upon like Japanese culture, the tea drinking culture is all about, it has to be hot. So I don't really have much to say here other than I made a real human connection and intellectual connection with somebody who actually works in a lab, and that's one of the things she does all day long is examine DNA, looking for those neoplastic alterations of normal human DNA. And it was wonderful. It was just absolutely marvelous. It was fantastic. I've really enjoyed today. I hope y'all enjoyed the 50-something minutes about Pflugerville and the Texas original colony I put up earlier. I'm glad she came up because I wasn't really ready to eat the Lewis Kemp imitation crab. The only potato starch, the only one that I will eat. And I really actually should have grabbed it. I like to pair it with something like little bits and pieces of avocado but I was in a hurry today. I was fatigued because I had to walk uphill a ways. Oh man, I was going turtle speed, baby. I did a full 5,000 feet today. For me, that's a big day. I'm old, I'm tired, I just want to die. You can see that in the previous video. I gave her my name. She's probably going to, I warned her that some of the stuff I say, that's why I told her to start with Tommy and Fritz and Tommy in the trenches. But it was so wonderful. First, I got this little angel of joy. And then the next day, and immediately as soon as she approached the stuff, I just took one look at her lenses and said, "You have astigmatism." And she was going like, huh? Then I said, well, as I rotate, look at my cheeks, see how it refracts and indents through my lens. I said, "It's all about your lenses." She was just amazed that, it's not that hard once you see, we are all, in science, we tend to be really super specialized. That's one of the big problems with big pharma is they are compartmentalized. Their knowledge is often limited to just a few, the complete knowledge of just a few molecules. And the molecule that I've been working on for decades is arachidonyl, ethanolamide, and a couple of others are the biggies. And you have no idea how satisfied and spent, because that was about 100-minute discourse. Especially I gave her warnings about the garlic, the COX-1, and other COX-1, COX-2 inhibitors, the chlorobutanol, the eye drops. I did a good job, and I got it done in about 100 minutes. Not a total gas bag, so I know she thoroughly enjoyed it. She was in awe because she apparently works for people who have less knowledge than I do about their function scientifically is to detect it. I'm all about curing it. So for new subscribers, yeah, I'm that guy. My name's Kent Kruger. I'm the first person on this planet to publish essentially this in its simple form. Cannabis will cure cancer by neoplasia by replacing arachidonyl ethanolamide, the first defined endocannabinoid. The scientific world has suppressed even Harvard's results, reproduced my results. They don't want it to be known. It's not to their advantage, and they'll lose their big cash cow that funds so much research, which is the failed, and it's really, by my count, will be the greatest screw-up and human holocaust. I calculated almost 15, 20 years ago that the total number of deaths directly attributable to the use of aspirin-like drugs will be at least 8 billion people. Everybody that's alive on this earth right now is just part of that count. Some of them will escape it, that horrible death but the Frankenfoods are probably going to get them. Anyway, that's all I got to say. I've try to get to know me before you criticize me. She got to know me. She likes me. I like her because she was absolutely motionless and focused on every word for 100 minutes. And can clearly spell really big words too. I didn't really have to, just by my pronunciation, correct pronunciation, and I gave her the generic term. She's well on her way. I did spell chlorobutanol for her, to be sure. And that's it. It was wonderful. It's really, to me, it's better than sex, really. Because that's a real, real deep, not deep down there, deep up here, deep connection with a human being, another human being. And I've always preferred a smart chick over, a chick who thinks she's hot, but really ain't got much between the ears. Anyway, that's it. 10 minutes, that's 11 minutes. That's too much for me. And I just want to say, good night and God bless and everybody. And I will finish with this. When I was in Walmart and I was on the phone, my health people called me and they're trying to book and right next to me, a little girl threw a screaming hissy fit. Her mother was actually conning her, making her think she had bought it. But on the way out, when the little girl wasn't looking, she placed that big box that had cellophane on the top of all this chintz and schlock and shit that only would appeal to a little 3 or 4-year-old girl who threw the biggest. And did the mother discipline her? No. The child forced the mother into purchasing shit that will be in the landfill or that she'll have to discreetly return when she's forgotten about it a few days later. This season coming up has nothing to do with your beloved Jesus Christ. This is the festival of avarice and making profit for corporations that really don't give a shit about you. That's it. We're done.